I guess it's finally time to do this. In the series of the best skills in disc golf, we've already seen the best putters, the best sidearms, and the best distance throwers. It's time for the best backhands in disc golf. Now this video comes with some criteria. The sidearms video is a lot easier to do because it's a much more specialist shot in our day and age. Compared to the best backhands, you could just do the top 10 players in the world right now because they all have great backhands. If you want to do that, then go look at the world rankings. For my best backhands in disc golf, we're going to be looking at players based off of their shot shaping ability, overall skill, and bonus points for backhand only players. Players who use the forehand more than their backhand have pretty much been excluded from my list. If you want the best sidearms, then go check out that video. Alright, it's time to get into the top 10. Here we go. Linus Karlsson, a Swedish disc golfer who popped up onto the Disc Golf Pro Tour just last year, made a really good impact, specifically when it comes to how good his backhand was on the tighter courses at the end of the year. This isn't about distance, that was in the last video. This is about control, about angles, and about finesse. Karlsson has that in abundance. He does have the forehand, like a lot of other players, but he heavily relies on the turnover shots instead when it comes to those tougher shots. He has power, don't get me wrong, but his greatest strength lies in his control of the disc.
Town to try to save that par. Wow. What a shot. Oh.
Mason Ford has one of the tightest forms in disc golf. It looks really smooth and really clean. For those of you looking to replicate a form, then this is definitely a player you want to watch. Mason is always a player who pops up once we go into those tighter courses. Champions Cup seems to be his event. He plays really well on that type of course, and for good reason. His flip-up game with the backhand is one of the best. He's incredibly accurate at hitting gaps, but another thing that he does really well is the approach game. His distance control with putters on approach shots is something we can all try to replicate. One of the best backhands in disc golf.
Mason's footwork is just so good. You see how he kind of works his way left to right and then back into a hyzer angle release.
What a beautiful
Just
shot.
butter.
James Proctor was a rare sighting until this year. He would randomly pop up at tournaments, make a good showing, then dip. But this year, well, now that he's full touring, he's a complete menace. I mean, he stands right now in the top 5 for point totals. Hopefully, I didn't just jinx him. But the way he has accomplished this has been with his backhand. A little bit different form than what we're going to see in this top 10, but it gets the job done. His timing on it is incredible. He has shown that he can really compete at those long open courses, but when we head to the tight wooded events, he's in the same position, always competing in that top 10. He does have the forehand, so I docked him a couple mental points for that, but still, he's right there with the complete package of control, accuracy in the woods, and beautiful approach shots with the putters.
So you'll often see players try to play more towards the right-hand side, and Proctor looking for another throw, and this time the ace.
Corey Ellis has the fastest two-step driver on tour. If you blink, you might miss it, and what's exceptional for Ellis is how controlled it is. Most of his success has come on the big open courses, but the guy's also got a lot of skill when it comes to some of the tighter courses on tour. When it comes down to it, his sidearm has let him down a bit, especially at the end of the year in 2022. But his backhand? Well, watching him throw standstills is something spectacular. I don't know how he does it, but I haven't seen anyone else in the Disc Golf Pro Tour have as much distance and control as what he's able to pull off. Watching his form is like a slingshot when it comes out. This shot by Ellis pretty much says it all.
Corey to the middle of the fairway. Those koozies, they've never done anything good. Oh! What?
That's good.
Corey Ellis! Yeah. What?
Watching Alden Harris play is always something special. This guy pulls out some really crazy shots sometimes, but not in the way you're thinking. No, he's not Simon Lizotte with the crazy lines. Instead, he'll just throw down a roller perfectly on a short distance, or a chill backhand line that no one saw coming. Well, because he has no other option. He's only got the backhand, and he has made it work out on tour. I'm going to show you one of my favorite highlights from Harris, but before I do, I need to explain the shot for you guys to understand a little bit. Short hole, downhill in the woods for Harris. He's going to do something that's pretty spectacular. He's going to throw such a flippy disc that by the time it hits the ground, it's flipped over, and then it's just going to slide down the hill towards the basket. I love this shot. Check it out.
Alden Harris throwing the crazy backhand roller slide job.
Probably the most iconic backhand-only player, the forehand for Conrad is an incredibly rare sighting. So he has to succeed with what he has, which is by far the longest run-up, longest overthrow, most exaggerated backhand form out there. We've all seen him throw in at Worlds, but what isn't focused on is his success on the distance control. He's one of the best putter throwers out there, able to put stable putters on different lines and then get them to stop on a dime. Don't let the hair fool you. Conrad has the game of disc golf pretty much figured out. Maybe it's the plastic, maybe the form, I don't know. Whenever you're watching a Conrad disc fly through the fairway in the trees, it just looks different. Maybe that run and lunge puts a different kind of spin on it. Anyways, number 5 spot for Conrad, probably going to be higher for some of you guys. The GOAT, Paul McGoat Macbeth. A little bit of struggle bus for this year, but doesn't really matter when you have built the greatest legacy in disc golf ever, period, ever, period. And how did he do that? Well, with every single kind of shot in the arsenal of disc golf, but that's not what we're focusing on today. The highlight for me when watching Macbeth is the approach shots. Yeah, he's a great driver of the disc, but those tight courses where distance control mixed with angle control is the key to winning, that's where Macbeth stands apart from the rest. When I got into the sport, this shot right here, this slow, smooth form from Macbeth, was what made me realize how much I sucked at disc golf. I quickly realized I needed to learn how to play the game like this guy. Macbeth has it all, but for me, the 4th spot on my list of the best backhands in disc golf is where I have him.
Do it! Oh! Yeah! I got that on film too.
I'm calling it right now. The next superstar in our sport is going to be Isaac Robinson. Just a couple of players on this list that are like 99.9% backhand, and he's one of them. Makes it a lot of fun watching him maneuver around the really tight wooded holes. Well, he started to do it in perfection, slowly becoming that guy when it comes to the really tight courses. He's going to be a contender at any big event that has those kind of obstacles. I love the lock and load throwing style that he has. When watching him play, it seems like it could be kind of herky-jerky, but then you watch him move around a course and you realize, oh, this guy's elite. Driver, mid-range, approaches, he's got it all. In all shots, whether throwing a bomb drive or a slow speed-up shot, control is the name of his game.
That's going to give him some confidence.
Not an easy play for a right-hand backhand Anheuser.
That looks pretty easy, Jerem.
But boy, oh boy, did he just make that look so simple.
Currently, Heimberg is the best disc golfer in the world right now. Not much of an argument against that. The majority of the events this year have been open courses though, but we know he has skills in the woods, and let me show you. For a lot of high-level disc golf shots, you need to be able to push a really low ceiling shot as far as you can, and usually as straight as you can. That's Heimberg's specialty. He pulls those shots off all the time to perfection. The best tunnel thrower out on tour. He doesn't throw a lot of flip-up shots. Instead, he takes a stable disc, throws them on a straight line wherever he wants to. I don't have him at that one spot. He throws a lot of approach shots with the sidearm, and he has a ton of power with it off the tee. Not dissing the guy for being well-rounded, it's just when it comes to a complete overall skill, the player I have in the number 1 spot is just better. But before we reveal that, check out this shot by Heimberg.
Oh, that's also high and inside.
This is
Oh, never mind.
blasted. Destroyer, full destroyer.
4.
What the?
Before we get to my number 1, here's a couple of the guys who made honorable mention for the best backhands in disc golf.
Go in.
So good.
Go in.
Go in.
Go in.
Let's go! Let's go, baby!
Nice shot, bro.
No way, Cole. Back to back, we win.
Very well so far. Very in control of everything.
Got it.
Oh,
let's
wow! No way!
Nice shot, dude.
Straight in.
I had no idea that was
I got your
coming.
back. I got it.
Let's
What's
do
your-
this moment.
Simon with the origin and
Oh, gosh.
boy.
Oh, man.
Finally, we get to the number 1 backhand in disc golf. For any fanatics, this shouldn't be a shocker. Chris Dickerson is a dog when it comes to the backhand. He very, and I mean very rarely, will throw the sidearm off the tee, but he does have it. Still, he has the best backhand in disc golf. He may be having a slower season this year, but just you wait until we get into the later swing of the year when Dickerson comes out of the woodworks. For the past 5 years or more, Dickerson has had the best mid-range game. Flip up, turnover, whatever kind of shot you want to call it, he has. He's been exceptional in really tight, dicey scenarios, usually relying on that quick step backhand shot to get him into position. I think about how much all of these players have a really good form and skill, but when it comes down to it, if I could switch with any one of them and have their backhand, it would be Chris Dickerson's.
Sidearm on some. He knows his game, though. This has got to be super flippy.
This looks good.
Oh, get it.
Is it in?
Let's go, dude. Yeah.
Oh my God.
What the heck?
Look at him.
He doesn't care.
Comment down below what you guys think of my top 10. What would you change about it? Any players that I left out you thought were worth mentioning? Make sure to check out RM Disc Golf on YouTube. Plenty of other videos just like this one. If you want to support the channel, go grab yourself an RM Disc Golf Whale Sac right here. Alright, we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.